Alright, we'll probably just go equal footing, just for the purposes of this game. So today we've got Norse versus Persian, it looks like. Yeah, so we're about to start this game, and hopefully the servers, well actually hopefully whoever manages to land host, actually hopefully me hosting is not a problem, and it's not. Thank the Lord. Praise the Lord! Alright, I better actually swap to a... Here we go. This will have to do for now. Well, this is technically an evaluation game. It's not actually part of the tournament, so to speak. This is more about, like, I don't know, evaluating players for the tournament itself. So, anyway, starting off in the bottom corner of the map as player number 1 today. And actually, I'll just change my camera settings real quick. Bear with me. We've got Gamevideo113 spawning as Persians. He's got the blue trunks today. Oh my god, that's crippling me. So that's perhaps a little bit too slow. That's better. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Anyway, spawning on the top side of the map as the red Norse player, we've got Blitz. So guys, give it up for our 2 competitors today who are basically in a trial matchup to see if they're newbie enough, I suppose, to play in the tournament. So it looks like the guys aren't doing too bad for now. I mean, there's distance gathering there and there, but that's actually not that uncommon if the first hunt is quite a distance away and it's not really worth sort of traveling to it. But in saying that, that storehouse could have gone down faster, but I mean, that's a mistake players tend to make when they sort of are umming and ahhing about whether they want to go storehouse, rack, storehouse, or double storehouse. And it does cost you a little bit because of this gathering, this time here. But as we can see, it looks like Gamevideo is probably going to go for fast barracks. Blitz is actually going for 2 storehouse first, so be interesting to see how this pans out for them, because the early barracks like that is really, really aggressive. It almost certainly means that Gamevideo is going to look at adding early spearmen, although he has only got 3 villagers on the hunt at this stage. He's getting his 4th on there, so that makes a bit of sense. Blitz is just only now adding the barracks, and he needs to get some more food gatherers at this point in time, because if he doesn't, he's not going to be able to afford the double production requirements out of the barracks, out of the town centre. And the Persian player is the one that doesn't have to go on the gold so fast in this instance as well. The Norse player has to also have a couple of villages on the gold. Persian player can only needs to have 1, can add it quite late. But Gamevideo has also taken hunting dogs, so that's cost him 50 gold, while Blitz still has that gold up his sleeve. But that does mean that Gamevideo, his 8 food gatherers, almost gathering at the rate of 9 or 7 at 8, while Blitz, he's got 4 villagers on the food, which is actually probably going to really put him behind in this position. The score is pretty even, but Blitz is just a little bit behind on the work account. It's 14 to 13, so he's actually just had a bit of a slight delay in his villager production, and it looks like he's actually dropped another villager already. So yeah, it looks like Blitz is already starting to struggle with the lack of food and just with the control required to be able to constantly produce everything. So it looks like I think he's almost definite already, without being too insulting about it. But he's already making little macro mistakes like that. Already got a villager just sitting here sort of doing nothing in production at the moment, and he's not actually housed. So little things like that just slow him down as a player. Gamevideo really keeping his resources quite low. His score is actually sort of deceptive because he's already taking an age up over his opponent. He's actually got a villager lead, and his opponent is taking an age 2 now, but it is quite a bit delayed, and there was a significant sort of lag there before it actually came out. So Gamevideo is actually looking quite comfortable here and looks to be playing a reasonable standard of game. Although this is quite interesting this forward storehouse. He hasn't actually taken the aid tent tech yet, so that's actually really quite greedy, and I suppose that works in a sense. He does have this small amount of travel time though, but it also means that if Blitz ever pushes out and starts to contest this area, well, Gamevideo is pretty much safe there. This one's actually sort of Blitz's hunt, so if Gamevideo can end up sort of leapfrogging, taking aid tent, adding some bowmen, getting some spearmen to deal with the raiders that the Norse players are invariably going to throw out here, then he can really sort of pinch this hunt, and then he's really putting Blitz at a disadvantage, who doesn't seem to know where any other hunts are on the map. Only really knows where 3 berries are over his side of the map as well, so going into the later stages of the game, it's going to cost him a bit. Gamevideo right now, floating quite a fair bit of resources, doesn't really have a lot of gold. Hasn't taken his H2 Town Center yet. He's actually distance gathering here. Both players sort of struggling with playing a perfect game, so to speak, early on. So Gamevideo really probably needs to get a storehouse there. Blitz probably needs to get one here or in here. And yeah, Blitz needs to get that second town center already underway. He's got the resources for it, so this is quite nice, but it looks like he's actually sort of waiting for these guys. So I'm not sure if they're going to go place a town center or... Oh no, they're just going up to another hunt. So Blitz right now could take a second town center at this point. And I think that would really be a big boon to his economy here. And if he could throw it up, possibly, you know, in here even, it could really sort of... Or in here once he pushes out Gamevideo, I think it could give him some value. Because if you've got him really stacked, it makes it really hard for your opponent to actually push into you. It's when you go for like split town centers, particularly against Norse, funnily enough, where you have a lot of trouble. Although Persia 2, they've got a good composition for fighting under towers in the Sparabara, because they've got so much pierce armor, a lot more than other Age 1, a little bit more than other Age 1's units, who, oh, they actually don't have any, so basically a 40% damage reduction that the other Age 1 units don't benefit from. Blitz still hasn't thrown up his second town center. Gamevideo hasn't either at this stage. He's getting quite a slow amount of stone. He's only got the 2 workers there, so both players have gone for quite an efficient build starting out. But it looks like Gamevideo does have the upper hand. He's got 25 to 18 villages. Blitz is actually down by about 15 population at this stage. And Gamevideo is just sort of sitting outside of his base, his opponent's base here, and just massing up Asabara. Although that might not be such a good strategy, considering that there are spearmen here to defend. Blitz is actually throwing axemen, so if Blitz can add out the units here, he can actually repel this push, provided that Gamevideo doesn't push right now. But it looks like Gamevideo wants to sort of hold off and wait for more Asabara, but this could probably cost him. He's getting inspired by a champion finally, and the upgrade is quite nice because of the health, but the pierce armor is going to be completely useless against the Norse starting composition off the barracks. So if Blitz just keeps adding barracks and maybe his stables and try and get some raids in, he can actually deal a fair bit of damage to his opponent. Even though he's so far behind in eco, if he sort of balances it out and gets a second town center up sometime soon, both he and Gamevideo need to get a second town center. So Gamevideo trying to bait his opponent with these split forces, which is actually quite nice to see, and he's sending off these cavalry to deal damage to his opponent, but Blitz might have the units here in the throwing axemen, but now that these Asabara have come back in, Blitz is going to have to scramble to defend here, and he might not have the units at all because he's still down by about 15 population. In fact, more, considering he's got more in the queue than his opponent here, so I think it might already be a GG at this stage, considering there's not going to be much here to defend for Blitz. Yeah, everything's going down. He's only got the 1 town center. Gamevideo is actually taking his 2nd town center now, so that's nice to see, but I think this is going to be game for these guys. Well, actually, let's go over the stats quickly. So, a bit of a big gathering disparity there in the end, because Game Video ended up getting up to 29 villages to Blitz's 22. And Blitz actually sort of overgathered a little bit of stone, didn't really have the goal to get out the units, I don't think. Yeah, so there was really only a 10 unit disparity, but that's largely because Game Video wasn't necessarily pumping out units continuously there. Was getting out high value cavalry units at 120 a unit. And yeah, so Blitz just didn't really have enough of an answer to his opponent there in Game Video. So if we go to... I just trained. See a little bit of a mistake there. And that was sort of a little bit longer than it had to be. And yeah, both players not with perfect villager production there, but they can always improve that.